All right, welcome everybody. Welcome into another call in Paradigm Switch Book Club. If you can hear me and if you can see the slides, please let me know in the comment box. If you can see the slides and if you can hear me, just give me a shout out. All right, sorry for the echo. Perfect. I think you can hear me and everything is good. And we are all set and all ready to go. All right. All right, here we go, everybody. Welcome back into another episode of Paradigm Switch Book Club. These are the free calls that we run every Sunday. And some Sundays we give you some work to do on yourself, some ideas, some influences. But this week is very, very special for all of us because we are getting into a new phase of Paradigm Switch Book Club, which is going to actually exponentially help you to get into better understanding, learn more about who you are, learn more about how to utilize the power that resides within ourselves. For many years, people around us has done incredible work. For example, if you look in the field of science and technology, people has created innovations, people has created ideas, people has created things that were beyond our imagination. For example, the recent shift of AI, and there are a lot of things that happen over the last few decades. And if you look at those things and ask yourself a very simple question, how does all those things happen? How does this rapid change is beginning, or how does this rapid change is actually happening in our world? And the answer to all these questions is that every single change that is happening on our planet is a reason of someone using their invisible power, someone understanding how to get in, tap into the infinite source of potential and possibilities within themselves, build an ideal, have an ideal or a goal in their mind, and then utilizing the power of their mind to ultimately manifesting that goal. And that's what we are going to learn today. We're going to learn what is the power of visualization, how we can utilize that power for our self, how we can actually manifest our dreams, our realities. This is what we are going to learn today in today's chapter. But before we go ahead, I want to give you little insights about what is that invisible power that we are talking about right here. Now, that invisible power is actually your relation with the power outside of you. Now, if I put it in better words, your invisible power is your ability to communicate your ideas to the infinite intelligence, or you call it infinite universe, whatever you want to call it. So, your invisible power is your ability to communicate your ideas with the universe, and that let the universe communicate back to you with ideas on how you can actually manifest those dreams and results that you want to manifest in your life in the form of physical evidence. So the whole process here is to understand how to communicate our ideas, how to communicate our thoughts, how to communicate what is inside our mind to the divine universe. And when we learn that power of communication that we possesses, once we learn how to communicate our ideas to the divine universe, we will learn, you know, how every great invention has been taken place on this planet. Every single person who has done great work on this planet has done it either consciously or unconsciously, communicating their ideas with the higher intelligence and then learning to pick out the signs and the symbols and the answers that universe is sending back to us. And that's what we will be learning today, how to communicate our ideas with that higher intelligence and higher power. Now, moving further on this slide, I want you to understand that we are talking about visualization here. And the first thing that we have to learn today is the order of visualization. We are talking about communicating our ideas. We are talking about how we can actually communicate our ideas to the universe. And the only way for us to communicate our ideas to the universe is by using the power of visualization. Now, once we learn how to utilize, or once we learn how to make full use of visualization ability, we learn how to bring our ideas and thoughts into reality. You may have heard this from many other people or many other philosophers or people around yourself, that visualization is the doorway or is the gateway, or I must say that visualization is the bridge between ideas in your mind and the divine universe that is there. So you need to understand that you have to learn how to use to visualize your thoughts, how to visualize your dreams, how to visualize your desires. But before we learn how to visualize our desires, let us understand what visualization does. Let us understand why it is important to understand visualization, visualize our dreams. And let us understand what is the right methodology to visualization. Although there are several techniques that can be utilized, there are several techniques that can be used to visualize our heart's desire. But I can tell you, any technique without understanding is just a waste of time. So it is very, very important for us to understand the principle behind visualization. It is very important for us to understand what are the principles, what are the basic things that we need to remember. So let's have a look at this one line. This is a beautiful definition I found from this book that we are reading right now, Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Behrend. I'll be sharing a PDF copy of that in my WhatsApp group later on with you all so that you can actually read it every single day, because the nuggets in that book are like absolutely gold, absolutely gold. Okay. Now let's have a look at this definition. They said that the exercise of visualizing faculty keeps your mind in order. Now, this is the word I want you to really, really fix in your mind right now. Keep your mind in order. Now, that's what we need to understand. We are living in a planet, or we're living in a world right now where we are surrounded with distractions. Okay. The digital distractions, the distraction from the outer world. Distractions can be in any form. There are numerous distractions that we are surrounded with every single day. But if we visualize, or if we learn how to visualize every single day, and I'm going to shed a little bit more light on this idea later on today. But on this slide, I want you to understand what it is saying here. This is saying that the exercise of visualizing faculty keeps your mind in order. And understand that a mind in order is a mind in control. And a mind in control is in control of everything that is happening surrounding to that mind. And order is the first law of heaven. Now think about it. When you are in a relaxed mood, when you're in a pretty calm, cheerful mood, have you realized that at that time you're at your peak of productivity levels? Because when you are in orderly state, somehow you pick things very quickly. You pick things in a better way than any other person can do it at that time. I want you to think about it for a minute. Think about it the last time when you was like completely relaxed, when you was like completely peace of mind. And when you were at that situation, having that peace of mind, you were able to communicate your ideas better. You were able to communicate your ideas better to the universe around you. And that was not a flattery, right? When you're relaxed, when you're calm, you're able to focus more on whatever you're doing at that moment. Think about when there is chaos, when there is complete haywire in your mind. That means there are zillions of things happening in your head at that moment. What happens at that time when there are zillions of things happening in your mind? When there are zillions of things happening in your mind, you somehow have lost control of yourself. You somehow have lost control of who you are. You somehow have lost control of everything around you. And why does this happen? This happens because when a mind is in an orderly state, we process things better. And when a mind is in a chaotic state, we are not able to process things at all. And when we visualize every single day, and once we learn how to tap into that visualization power whenever we want, we bring order to our mind. And that order literally helps us to get better results in our life. That order helps us to become the better version of ourselves. And that's why I said that exercise The exercise of visualizing faculty keeps your mind in order, and an orderly mind is capable of achieving big things. Now, let's have a look at here. Why? Continuing with this idea of visualization, this is by far the best paragraph in this book, okay? Or I must say, in this chapter. Understand that what it's saying here. It is saying here that if you train yourself, in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire, what is it? If you train yourself in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire, that means you have to do it consciously. Visualization has to be done on a conscious level. Now, think about it for a moment. Think about it for a moment. Visualization. If you train yourself in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire. So the first step is that you consciously picture your desire. And then you carefully examine your picture. That means then you consciously, first you build a picture in your mind. Let me draw it for you because then it's going to become very easier for you. So that means, first of all, consciously, on a conscious level, develop an image of what you want to achieve. Okay. Then on a subconscious level, carefully examine your picture. That means carefully examine the emotions, carefully examine the feelings that you want to have. You remember thoughts, feeling, actions, the formula. Remember that. So carefully picturize yourself the way you want your life to be, and then examine your picture. Examine how you're feeling. Examine, the kind of emotions that you want to have. Examine that. And then you're going to find out that you will soon find that your thoughts and desire proceed in more orderly possession than ever before. And that is so true. When the ideas in your conscious mind are in synchronization with ideas in the subconscious mind, there is a flow of everything that happens in your life. Another side, when consciously you're thinking about something else, but at the subconscious level you're having fears, that means on conscious level you're having dreams, okay, but on a subconscious level you're having a fear. What's going to happen? You will be in a very disturbed vibration. But when you visualize, this is exactly what happened, the opposite of what I just showed you. If you train yourself in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire and carefully examining your picture, you will soon find that your thoughts and desires proceed in more orderly possession than ever before. And when you reach that state of ordered mentality, you're no longer in a state of mental hurry. That means at that time, you're in a state of peace. You are in a state of calmness. You are in a state of serenity, whatever you want to call it. And at that time, the ideas, the images in your conscious mind are in synchronization with the ideas in your subconscious mind. And then you work in a more orderly possession than ever before. And that's what we have to learn. The images and the emotions in the conscious mind and the subconscious mind has to sync together. Or in another way, I will say that they has to be synchronized. Let's put it in that way. That's a better word to using. There has to be in synchronization, and they can only be in synchronization when you use the ability of visualization. Now, if you observe this whole statement again and again and again and again and again and again, you're going to understand that there is a key word in this statement. And that key word is deliberately picturing your desire. That means you have to consciously do it. It's not going to happen it by itself, my dear friend. You have to consciously visualize your desires every single day. And when you learn to do that consciously every single day, over the time, this becomes a subconscious impression. But initially, you have to consciously and deliberately picture yourself into that desire. Whatever that desire is, consciously image that, visualize that. I'm going to give you a step-by-step process later on today. But for now, I want you to understand these principles. I want you to understand the philosophy behind it that I'm sharing with you here right now. So when you consciously and deliberately visualize things that you want, you learn how to get better at what you're doing. You learn how to visualize the things in a better way, and you learn how to actually achieve, the results that you want to achieve. Now, moving further, understand that why we need to visualize. That's another powerful thing, because there are many people, who understand that visualization is powerful. There are many people who understand that they have to visualize. There are many people who understand that, okay, I know visualization is good for me, but why we need to visualize? We have to understand that, because until or unless we don't understand the idea of visualization, that why we need to visualize, we're not going to get the results that we want. So why? So understand that. You realize, since order is heaven's first law, remember this word, order. If you look at nature, things are in order. Things are in orderly possession. Universe, the nature works by absolute order. Now you realize that since order is heaven's first law, and visualization places things in their natural order, then it must be heavenly thing to visualize. Understand that, my dear friends. This is a powerful idea, you know. So when we visualize, what we are doing is that we are bringing an order into our mind. Now, let's see, when we are not visualizing, what happens. When we are not visualizing, we have dreams in our conscious mind. Okay. And by now we have understood that it is not the ideas in the conscious mind that great results, that brings results. It's the ideas in the subconscious mind that brings results. And 95% of our results are controlled by our subconscious patterns in our subconscious mind. And when we do not visualize, or when we are not consciously thinking about our goals, when we are not consciously going in the direction of what we want, we have paradigms in our subconscious mind. And most of the time, these paradigms are controlling everything that we build on our conscious mind. And by law, it is putting us in a very stubborn or very, stuck vibration. But what happens when we visualize? Now, when we visualize, slowly and steadily, we are bringing that order to our mind. You know what's happening right now, right here, when you visualize? You have your dreams in your conscious mind. Okay. But when you're visualizing, what you're doing is you are impressing these dreams to your subconscious mind. Now, those old paradigms are still here. But what happens is that the more you get emotionally involved with these ideas, you're actually getting emotionalized with this dream, and you throw away the old paradigms. And now you have built the new paradigms over there. And when these old paradigms are thrown away, and when these new paradigms are built here, which are actually in synchronization with your dreams, what happens is that now your thoughts, your feelings, your vibration, and your actions, they're all aligned together. And when they aligned together, the reaction from the universe is actually in relation or in line with whatever you have been dreaming, visualizing. And that's when you get the results that matters the most. Now, while what happens here, you still have your thoughts, you still have your feeling, you still have your action, but they're not in syncing with each other. You're thinking about your dreams, but you're feeling afraid. There is a fear. And when that happens, your actions are not appropriate. When your actions are not appropriate, your results and even the response and the reaction from the universe is not appropriate. And when you get the results, they're not good that you want. And this exactly is here what happens when you start to visualize. What are you doing when you visualize is that you're bringing your mind into orderly state. And when you're bringing your mind into orderly state, you get the results that you want. Think about it. you are getting the results that you want. Why? Because you're bringing your mind into that orderly state of vibration. And that is what we need to know. That is what we have to achieve. And that is what we have to learn. And this is where we learn why to visualize, because that brings everything into order. That brings everything into order. And there's a way to visualize. As I told you earlier in the previous slide, it is the conscious use of this power. That means you have to consciously learn how to visualize until it becomes a subconscious reaction. For many people, visualization is not easy, because whenever they start visualizing, they start thinking about why they cannot achieve their goal. They start thinking about why it is difficult for them to achieve their goal. All right, I understand that. That's pretty normal. But that is why it is written here. It is the conscious use of this power that attracts to you multiplied resources, intensifies your wisdom, and enables you to make use of advantages which were formerly failed to recognize, which you formerly failed to recognize. And this is what happens, when you consciously start picturizing yourself. That means when you're thinking about your dreams in your conscious mind, and now you're impressing that in your subconscious mind. Understand that you're not only impressing your goals and dreams into your subconscious mind, but at the same time, you're communicating this with the universe, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it universe power. You want to call it infinite intelligence. I mean, whatever you want to call it, you want to call it God, whatever you want to call it, just call it. But understand that when you are visualizing, that's what you're doing. You're communicating. You're communicating this power to the universal intelligence. And when you're communicating this power to the universal intelligence, there is a reaction coming back from the universe. And this is exactly what these lines are saying here. They said, when you consciously use this power, have a look at that. You attract to yourself multiplied resources. That means this energy vibration that you have sent in the universe start responding back to you with the thoughts, with the ideas, with the wisdom. You will suddenly attract help from someone that you have never imagined about. You might be working on a book and you're stuck at a point, and all of a sudden you will meet someone who spark an idea into your brain, and all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, that's what I can do. That's what I can achieve. That's what I can do. And all kind of those crazy things started happening to you. Why? Because that's what happens when you start consciously visualizing, when you start consciously recognizing these ideas, my dear friend. But it's the conscious use of this power that matters the most. And you need to learn that. The conscious use of this power. And when you do that, things become better. Now, in the last moment of this call, I'm going to give you some great ideas now. Let's have a look at that again. Some of you who are already familiar with this diagram, this is your mind and body. Okay. All of those who are very much familiar with this, who have been constant in these calls, they know how much important this diagram is. Your mind and body, they are just equally important for you when you're trying to achieve your goals. All right. So we have your mind, we have your body, and then we have this dumbbell shaped element right here that we call as your brain. So that's your mind and body. That's your brain right here. Okay. This is your conscious mind. This is your subconscious mind. And we have these sensory factors here that we call as see, smell, hear, taste, and touch. Now let us understand the practical way to utilize the power of visualization. Make notes on this page, okay? Now, the first step in the power of visualization is to create the image. Create the image of your desire. Now, how we create the image of our desire? Now, we know that we have to do it consciously. We have to build an image of our dream. Now, the best way to build that image, I always tell this to everyone, whomever I contact, my clients or anybody who seeks for any advice from me, I always tell them the best way to create an image is to write it down. And understand that every single day you have to do it. Because when you write the same script every single day of your dream, you know what's going to happen? You're going to evaluate it every single day. And when you evaluate it, it is going to get better. That means next day you might come up with something that makes more sense to you. For example, today you said that, oh, I want to make that much of money. That's your goal. But next day you might come up with a better idea that that's not just my goal. Then you might start expanding it. So write it as much as detail possible what you want to do. Make a written description of it. This is as essential as it is. I cannot impress that idea, you know, like this is something very powerful. Make a written description of your goal. Make a written description of your dream. What is that dream for you? What is that dream meant for you? Make a written description of it. Now, the second step of the journey is to get emotionally involved with that idea. Get emotionally involved with that idea. Now, how we can get emotionally involved with that idea? Understand that, my dear friend. This is where the principle of repetition comes into place. This is where you have to learn how to use auto suggestion that has been, that has been mentioned in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and many other authors talks about it. The easiest way to get emotionally involved with your desire is think about a couple of questions. The first question you can ask yourself is, imagine that the goal is already accomplished. Imagine that the goal is already accomplished. Now, if that has happened, how will you feel in that moment? Now, this is what you have to do again, constantly, every single day. The easiest way to do this is, like I always tell my clients, that, record your script. That written script that you have in the step number 1, record that. Add a nice background music, a good background music. Okay. Edit it beautifully. If you don't know how to edit it, you can always ask me, or you can seek help from someone or friend. And then listen to this recording every single day. And if you think you want to make changes, make changes. Repetition. Understand that repetition is the key to success here. And the moment you start getting emotionally involved with your dream, it is going to replace your old paradigms. It is going to replace your fears. It is going to replace your everything that is happening in your subconscious mind with faith. And when you reach that state of order mentality, it is going to create new brain cells into your brain. And then those new brain cells are going to trigger a vibration to your body. And that vibration is going to cause you to move into an action. And that action is going to cause a reaction from the universe, my dear friend. And that reaction is going to be the result that you have been seeking. By far, this page, that I explained to you right now, this is the best explanation I can give anybody about how to practically utilize the power of visualization. That's the best way I can describe this to you. And I want you to really take this out today with you from this call. This idea that I just described here, the imaging ability. Today, when you get out of the call, I will highly encourage you that sit with a blank paper and a pen and write down your desire, write down the goal, write down the dreams that you have for yourself. Think about it in as much as detail possible and make a description of it as detailed as possible. Make a very good written description of it. And then read that description. Think about it. Do you think that's a good enough description? Think about it. Is this exactly what you want? Think about it. Is there anything that you can want to add it on to? Think about it. And then record it. And then every single day, go through your description again. If there is a change you want to make, change it. If you want to re-record it, re-record it. Is that a lot of work? No, it is not. Comparison to your goal, it's not. So, or the better way is that write your goal today, visualize it, and then just rewrite your script again tomorrow, visualize it. And when you feel like, okay, that's a perfect script right now, maybe take 7 days, okay? Every single day, write your description. Something better will come next day, I can tell you. Then something better will come next day. At the end of the 7th days, whatever the script you have on the day 7, record that script. And once you record that script and then just listen to that every single day, and you see what a big difference it is going to make. I can tell you, it is going to make a huge difference into your life, my dear friends. And on that note, I want to leave you today to work it out by yourself on your desire. Think about that visualization process and make a description of it. In the end, I want to say thank you so much for being here. These calls are free every Sunday for you. Paradigm Switch Book Club. But at the same time, we have an upgraded version of Paradigm Switch Book Club where you have access to more material, where you have access to more information. So if you're interested to really get into that, the paid membership one, just reach out to me. Send me a message. I'll send you the link to buy the subscription. It's not that costly, but it's going to give you another insight, cutting edge, with another key ideas, with the expansion of whatever we discuss here, and even little more. So in that note, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It has been pleasure, sharing this information with you today. And I'm looking forward to see you all next week. Till then, take care and live the life the way you want to live. Thank you so much.